Yeah, but but her presentation and delivery did not was not indicative of that. It just seemed like she was, I don't know, like she's been given the short end of the stick. And to Kelly's point, she's like just stating how she just feels, and it's like, yeah, I could understand that, and I think that a lot of people could receive that. But the part about it is that you attract more bees with honey, and unfortunately, you're giving out a lot of vinegar in her statement.
So you saying she was a little bit too masculine? Is that what you're saying?
Her
I think
presentation is
that
standoffish.
It came off a bit standoffish. Yeah, I agree. Go ahead, Viz.
To kind of piggyback off of what Louise said in the fellas, me personally, when I hear women say that I'm financially sad, I don't need the money, blah blah blah, like that, to me it seems it's something about that, and maybe it's because of the narratives that's being pushed nowadays, but it's something about that when women say that, it just sounds weird, because a relationship should not be based off of that. You know, yeah, you're supposed to be able to provide and stuff and things of that nature, but just how she stated that the bare minimum of knowing her favorite color, you know, this should be the basis before you even step out on a date, in my opinion. So when women say that, it just sounds weird, because it's like, okay, well, it seems like there's an alternative, a different alternative motive than what's being said. I try to pay attention to the subcontext of what it is that people say when they say it and how they say it. That's the power of the English language. So for her to make that statement and deliver it, if everybody on the panel can agree that she delivered it a certain type of way, then it's like, damn, okay, I understand what you're saying, I agree with it, but what is truly the subcontext of what you're saying? Just the whole "what do you bring to the table" conversation, in my opinion, is some peon ass shit on both sides. It's irrelevant, in my opinion, for us to have this conversation, because I'm not going to ask you what you bring to the table. It's what do you show? What are you bringing to the table? You telling me what you bring, that don't mean shit. But how are you going to show me that you're bringing this stuff to the table? You know, because I can tell you, you can tell me, you can do it for a day, but is that something that you're going to consistently do? And the things that I bring to the table, are you going to truly value that throughout the relationship or throughout the time period? Or is that just relevant right now? So I think that is, I think she said a lot without saying nothing, to where we get it, but it's something more going on that she's not saying. And she's saying it in this straightforward demeanor, as if it seems as if she's trying to cover something else up.
Because I think you made a good point, because when I was growing up, I don't think that was ever a question. I think it became an internet thing, and we mostly paid attention to what the person was showing us. But as I got older and I started to, because when you're in a relationship and you feel like you're putting in a lot of work and you're doing a lot, sometimes it can be draining because you're not receiving anything. So I can see where it can be a valid question, but maybe not financially. But you really do have to vet people and see what you're going to be dealing with for years to come. Because I'm telling you, if you're doing every single thing that you're supposed to do and you're not receiving anything, you're going to be drained. The interest is going to go away, and you're going to start to get annoyed by the little things. So I think it is important to not necessarily what they bring to the table, but what type of person you are. You know, are you generous? Are you kind? Are you thoughtful? Are you considerate? Are you helpful? Do you value family? Do you want to build together? Do you want to grow? So these are some of the things that I think can equate to what it is that you can bring to the table, because every table is different. Everybody's table don't look the same. But I think the internet has put so much focus around finances and kind of physical things, where I think a lot of things will come naturally if the inside is right.
Because I get you have options. You're handsome, you're successful, you will have options forever. So it really is in your hands, your fate. So you can tell me I'm great all you want, but you're not pursuing me, and I know why. Because I require too much. And that's all right. I'm okay with that.
What do you mean by that, though? What do you mean what do you require?
I require discipline and intention. And I require a level of like investment in terms of time. And you know, it's like, you can say, oh, I took her to this restaurant, I took her to that restaurant. And I'd be like, well, what's my favorite color? There's no amount of dinners that you will ever buy for me that will get my panties off. So you really need to figure out what it is that you think you have to offer and what it is that you think I value, because it's never going to happen without real investment. I can do it myself. I can pay for whatever restaurant I want to go to myself.
Yeah.
I have a nice car. I have a nice house. I have friends. I have a successful career. So I am emancipated to a certain extent, because those things don't entice me. So it kind of is a, what do you bring to the table that's not material, that is something that's compelling.
And also, if you pay attention, man, you can kind of tell. Usually when people are overcomplicating that, is usually because they're speaking from a place of pain. Like they've gone through some things and they don't really like the results that they've been getting. They don't really like the failed relationship. So now their guard is up and they are making sure that they don't experience this again. But go ahead. Hey, I was about to say something. I think I was going to say something in Viz, and we also got to get mistaken.
Yeah. I just wanted to say, now that we rewatched it, she's a little presumptuous. Like, she says, you know, you're not pursuing me and I know why. And I feel like that right there is her problem. How do you know why? Every man's different. There's a lot of guys that are, I mean, she's single, right? So there's obviously a lot of men that aren't pursuing her. She's clearly attractive. She's a beautiful woman. She's famous. People know her. So there has to be a reason why these men aren't pursuing her. And her assumption is that the reasoning is that her standards are too high. And maybe that's not it. You know, maybe she's a little aggressive in the way she speaks. You know, maybe she doesn't smile often. Maybe she's not very inviting. Maybe she gives off the energy that she thinks her standards are high, you know, but they aren't, because the people she's dating don't even know her favorite color. So I don't know, like she's saying there's no amount of panties. I mean, no amount of dinners that you could buy to get her panties off. Granted, but to me, that's kind of what it sounds like. It sounds like dinners have been getting her panties off for a long time, and the guys have been getting her panties off with dinners don't even know her favorite color. And she's looking back at her life and she's frustrated now, and she's like, well, what else can you bring to the table besides all this stuff? But that's because before, what she was asking what you could bring to the table was all of that stuff. So she's still asking for that stuff. She's just saying, hey, can you like me too? And you know, it just seems a little bit like she's coming from a hurt place. And yeah,
no, tag me in, Clout. Tag me in.
Hold on.